Yo, what's up? It's Rafael. Got my guy Richard Stayman here. We're doing a live podcast for you. So today, we're here at Drive Nation. We had a chance to watch quite a few NBA prospects work out, train, play a little bit of pickup ball. So Richard, who was the guy that was the most impressive player to you today?
Man, you talked a lot about Jean Montero. I liked him a lot. I think the jump shot's real, the speed, the passing, just the vision, all of it. As he adds strength, I really think he's going to be a problem in the league.
Yeah, I mean, he's stronger than what he looks. I mean, there's a couple plays where he was able to kind of bully his way through and play through contact. I mean, you look at his shoulders, they're broader than what you see on TV. And maybe he's just picked up some weight since the start of the season. Just to give you a list of the audience, just to give you a list of the guys that were here. Name all the players that you saw here.
All right, I got to run it back in my head. So there was Andrew Jones from Texas, Hugo Besson from the NBL in France. There was Noah Shelby, high school recruit, Jean Montero, Mike Miles from TCU.
Drew Timme
from Gonzaga, cannot miss him. Moses Brown from the NBA, Jamias Ramsey from the NBA. Trying to think of who else. Who have I missed?
Kyla Edwards
yes,
from University of Houston, who I'm pretty high on. Have to go back and Donovan Williams from UNLV, he's been working out here all summer. I know he shot over 40% from three last year at UNLV. So it was quite a few guys. Let's talk about Drew Timme. So Drew is a guy that I've been saying that in workouts, I think he'll look fine. But it's something about 5-on-5 up and down play where he just has this. He has it. Like, what were your thoughts on Timmy today?
Yeah, you could tell when he was missing a lot, it really got to him. But the second he made one shot, it changed everything. He hit a jump shot the next end, hit a dunk, and then after that had a reverse layup against Moses Brown. I don't know how he finished. And he was making sick passes. Like, the feel for the game is just ridiculously strong. And that plus the post skill, and not really even post skill, just general skill he has, like that's going to go up in the NBA at some point.
And he wasn't posting up today. I rarely saw him in the post. If he did post up, it was the mid post, but he was more so looking for cutters.
Yep.
Have your thoughts on him as an NBA prospect changed?
You're making me eat crow. You told me last week that Drew Timme's an NBA guy, and I was kind of brushing it off. Yeah, he's an NBA guy. I mean, especially Luka Garza last year I think Drew Timme's a better player.
Yeah, I mean, I think Garza's, obviously he's bigger, was a better shooter from three, but I think that Drew is a better passer.
Yep.
And, I mean, he's just the guy that I just think you have to focus on what he does well, what he can do. I think too much is being focused on he's not this great athlete, he doesn't have crazy length, he's not a vertical lob threat. But when I'm watching him play pickup, and of course he's 6'10", so he has the height, but he's made some pretty athletic finishes that were kind of shocking to me. All right, let's talk about Hugo Besson. Hugo has been here, I'd say about a week now. This is probably like my third or fourth time watching him play. What were your thoughts on seeing him live and in person?
Yeah, we were talking pre-air about how his style didn't look quite ready for this kind of environment yet. But the skills, I think when he was doing the open drills, where he was doing shooting drills, coming off of screens, all that stuff, that's where he looked best. And I think that's kind of the takeaway you have to get from him. His jump shot is really smooth, very minimal dip, just like it is in film, like I had anticipated. The release, the wrist stroke is just beautiful. And while he doesn't have blow-by speed and he's not the strongest, kind of worry about him a little bit on drives. But ultimately, I think he's got the IQ, general skill and touch at the rim that with that shooting ability, he's going to be able to make a living.
Yeah, so for the audience that are listening, it wasn't a knock on Hugo in this environment, and we talked about off air is that Hugo's used to playing in Europe where it's structure, and I've lived in Europe and I've been around, and I've never just seen guys play pickup basketball. So it's usually very structured, you're playing with your teammates, the spacing is correct, and this environment, I mean, these guys have been working out, doing skills and drills all week long, and then Friday is their day where they get a chance to get up and down and kind of play. So in any pickup situation, it's usually going to be way more guards than bigs. You may have a team of 4 combo guards and 1 big. And so I just think like with the entire up and down play, a lot of ISO one-on-one, it was hard for him to get touches. But I've noticed the past few weeks that I've been here, he's always been on the team with Drew. And they have a chemistry because these are two guys that technically play the right way as far as like cutting, screening, and so on. So I've had a chance to watch him play, like I said, for the last week. I've been impressed. I got some footage of him in like some one-on-one drills where he really showcased like his ball handling and his shot making ability, and I think that's like his niche, is that he's a scorer and a shot maker. All right, Montero. We talked about him briefly. What about his passing? Like, all right, let me ask you this. Kind of going too fast here. Before seeing him live, did you think of him as more so of a scorer or a playmaker?
Yeah, 100% a scorer. I think that OTE, it fooled a lot of people, myself included. Like, I think what we saw today, granted, the sample size, I've seen 3 OTE games, 1 scrimmage environment. I'll acknowledge that. But ultimately, you could tell his mentality was never to, how can I get my buckets? Like, there were people out here that were like that. He was not one of those people. Yeah,
it's very interesting because I've watched him play at Basketball Without Borders in 2020. I was impressed by the scoring. I've followed his career ever since then. I watched like footage from the U16s. I follow him in Gran Canaria. This year is probably the least I've paid attention to him because I'll be honest, I just did not know what to expect with Overtime Elite. And I'm thinking like he's going from playing pros to kids. And so, yeah, I didn't pay a lot of attention to him. But I had always had him in the box as like this scorer. And I've watched tons of films. I knew he could pass. But what I've seen out of him over the last week is that in these pickup games, he's playing as more so of a playmaker than a scorer. And he's getting guys involved. He's an incredible live dribble passer. He made some impressive reads. So has your thoughts on him changed outside of seeing that the passing and playmaking?
Yeah, he was a guy who I was willing to kind of push down in favor of others, but that has definitely changed for me going forward because I think, one, he's quick. He's very quick in getting to the rim. And on top of that, like you said, the live dribble passing. There are times he leaves his feet, times he doesn't to make those passes, but one way or another, he knows how to manipulate defenders on the drive. And as a point guard, that's one of the most important skills you can have, especially when, I trust his shot. I don't know about you, but I trust his shot. When you have the shooting ability, it really adds a whole other element to his game offensively.
Yeah. What I like most is that he's very poised, he's calm, he's patient. You can't speed him up. And it's just like this advanced maturity. And I mean, he's still 18 years old.
Yeah. And
you can tell just in these pickup games is that he's been a pro. He knows how to play professional basketball. All right, is there anybody else that stood out to you?
I can't think of somebody else out of those two that like really, really stood out in that way, but there was somebody we missed that I liked a lot, which was Anthony Black, who is going to Arkansas. The jump shot, it's a little bit of work in progress. The follow through and the touch, I think, is nice. But that's size and handle. I think it actually does a lot for him. And, you look at the guys like Scotty Barnes, where Trey didn't have the shot, but he had everything else. And I wonder if Anthony Black might be going down that road.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was quiet today. I mean, he is essentially a high school kid. He's playing against guys that were a little bit older. And then by there being so many guards and so many guys that needed the ball to be effective, he wasn't as assertive, which is understandable. So I kind of think he I guess just kind of blended in with everybody, but you could see the talent, the size, first of all, the ball handling. I forgot I know they were switching teams, but at one point he was on a team where he never got a chance to bring the ball up the court.
It was with Montero and Mike Miles, actually.
Yes, so imagine he's on the team with John Montero and Mike Miles, so he's not going to have the opportunity, especially being younger, to really showcase. So he was playing more so as a cutter. I saw him play out of the post a couple times.
Yep.
And so, but again, you can see that he has a lot of promise. All right, now let's talk about Mike Miles. Your guy, Mike Miles. He's been a big Mike Miles fan. I've seen Mike, playing pickup and training up close for like the last 2 or 3 summers. And was this your first time seeing him like in this environment playing pickup?
Yeah, I've seen him only at TCU before. So I remain impressed. I buy the handle. I buy the shot, even though actually the shot wasn't falling much today, both in drills and in the workout. But I mean, he was talking with me afterwards and saying, you know, he had been going 5 days very hard this week, and you know, probably just took a toll on him. I'm not going to hold this like 1 day of sample size on him, but I think you see the feel for the game. We were talking about his passing ability. He doesn't. He goes, I don't even know how I like know how to make these skip passes like I do a lot, because I was talking about some of the passing in season game, and it just really comes natural. I just know when the roller's there, I use him as a decoy, and from there I just kind of find who's open. And that feel for the game is really impressive and was on display today. Yeah,
a friend of mine is an agent, and he was in here a couple of weeks ago, and he was raving about Mike Miles. So he said, his exact words to me was, I'm not concerned about the efficiency because that's not going to be the role that he'll play in the NBA. And he was adamant that Mike Miles is a 10-year NBA player. And one of his comparisons was Monte Morris.
I like that.
From Denver. He thought he's a guy that can come in, run the offense, score if you need to, but it's just going to be a solid player that once he's surrounded with better teammates, not a knock on the guys at TCU, but NBA level teammates where he's not supposed to be like the go-to guy, then he's going to look a whole lot better. All right, last prospect, Kyla Edwards. I've been high on Kyla Edwards, and I actually had a chance to talk to him off the record about his shooting, because he shot 41% as a junior, and I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head this year, but it was a significant decline. And so one of the things I like to do is ask guys, like, in context, what went wrong? Is there a reason the shot fell? Was there an injury that we didn't know about? And what he mentioned to me was he was playing 40 minutes a game. The team was injured. He had a lot of ball handling duties. And he said it wasn't an excuse. He just said it was just a situation where the role was different and he was taking a lot of tough shots that impacted his three-point shooting. What were your thoughts on Kyla Edwards today?
Yeah, I like him a lot. He was taking actually a lot of tough shots, and he was making them, though. Like, it was very clearly not having to play 40 minutes of an intense college game, and having also a fully, this is not a knock on Houston, but they missed Marcus Sasser, for example, for the whole season. That definitely weighed on his three-point percentage. This is a fully healthy and like fully capable team where they had NBA talent next to him, and he was able to get his looks. I mean, he was hitting stop and pop step backs from beyond the NBA range with ease, multiple times too.
And his size, strength, and ball handling and versatility is what stands out to me. Well, this is an emergency NBA Big Board podcast. I'm Rafael Barlowe. This is my guy Richard Stayman.
Appreciate it as always.
And we'll have more of these coming up soon. We're in the same area, and we're just gonna have fun and be creative with this NBA draft space. So we're out.